Have you ever found yourself sitting by the window, watching the world go by, and wondering why the phone hasn't rung in days? Or maybe you've counted the weeks, or even months, since you last saw your children or grandchildren, and that quiet ache in your heart just won't go away. If that sounds familiar, let me start by saying this. You are not alone. So many of us, as we get older, find ourselves in this same place. We've spent decades pouring love into our families, building memories, and creating a home that once buzzed with laughter and chaos. But now, life moves at a different pace. The kids are busy with their own lives, and visits become fewer and farther between. It's easy to feel overlooked, even invisible. But here's the truth I want you to hold on to today. Your value doesn't depend on how often someone stops by. You are worthy of love, connection, and joy, no matter what your calendar looks like. In this video, we're going to talk about 5 heartfelt ways to reclaim that sense of being loved and valued, even when family isn't around as much as you'd like. These aren't quick fixes or empty platitudes. They're practical, meaningful steps you can take starting today to fill your life with warmth and purpose. Let's begin with the first one, redefining what connection means. You see, for years, many of us tied the idea of family to a very specific picture. Sunday dinners, holiday gatherings, grandchildren running through the house. And when that picture changes, it can feel like a loss. But what if we expanded that definition? Think about the people who've always been there, quietly, in the background. The neighbor who waves from their porch, the friend from your book club who always asks how you're really doing, or even the friendly cashier at the grocery store who remembers your name. These relationships matter. They may not be tied by blood, but they're tied by something just as powerful: choice. Reach out to someone today. Call that old friend you've been meaning to catch up with, invite a neighbor over for coffee, or strike up a conversation with someone new at your community center. Love doesn't come only from family. It's all around us, waiting to be noticed. Now let's talk about the second way, creating new traditions that celebrate you. For so long, our lives revolved around caring for others, making birthdays special, hosting holidays, planning vacations. But now is the perfect time to design rituals that are just for you. Maybe it's a weekly morning where you treat yourself to breakfast at that little diner down the street, or an afternoon spent gardening while listening to your favorite music from the 60s. Or perhaps it's something bigger, like volunteering at a local school to read to children, or joining a group that shares your hobbies, painting, knitting, or even bird watching. These traditions aren't just distractions, they're declarations. They remind you that your time, your passions, and your presence matter. One gentleman I know, Jim, started hosting a monthly storytelling night at his retirement community, where folks share tales from their lives. He told me, "It's not about who shows up. It's about knowing I have stories worth telling." And that's the key, isn't it? You have a lifetime of stories, wisdom, and love to offer. Sometimes we just need to redirect that energy outward or inward in ways that honor who we are right now. Whether it's redefining connection or building new traditions, these steps aren't about replacing family. They're about expanding your world, one meaningful moment at a time. As we move forward, there's so much more to explore, ways to nurture your spirit, embrace your independence, and find joy in the everyday. But for now, I'd love to hear from you. Have you tried reaching out to someone new lately, or started a ritual that brings you peace? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'll be reading everyone. And remember, this is just the beginning. You deserve to feel loved, cherished, and valued every single day. And together, we'll make sure that happens. Now let's talk about something that might surprise you: the power of giving back. It's easy to feel like our best years are behind us, especially when the house feels too quiet or the days stretch out a little longer than they used to. But here's what I've learned, and what science backs up. Helping others is one of the most profound ways to reignite our sense of purpose. You've spent a lifetime accumulating skills, stories, and wisdom. Why not share that treasure with the world? Take Margaret, for instance. After her grandchildren moved across the country, she felt a void she couldn't quite shake. Then, on a whim, she signed up to tutor kids at the local library. "Those Tuesday afternoons became the highlight of my week," she told me. "It's not just about teaching them to read. It's about feeling needed again." And that's the magic of it. Whether it's knitting hats for newborns, mentoring a young professional in your former career field, or even baking treats for a community fundraiser, these acts of generosity remind us that we're still vital, still capable of making a difference. You don't need a packed schedule or endless energy, just a willing heart. Start small. Drop off flowers from your garden at a neighbor's door. Offer to write letters for a pen pal program. The key is to find something that aligns with your strengths and joys. After all, giving shouldn't feel like a chore. It should feel like a gift, both to others and to yourself. Now, let's move to the fourth way. Embracing technology to bridge the distance. I know. The word technology might make some of us want to shut the laptop and walk away. But hear me out. Those screens and gadgets, they're not just for the grandkids anymore. Think of them as tools, like a telephone, but with pictures and endless possibilities. Video calls, social media, even simple text messages can keep you connected to loved ones in ways that felt impossible just a generation ago. Let me tell you about Harold. At 78, he'd never owned a smartphone. But when his daughter sent him one, just for emergencies, his granddaughter took it upon herself to teach him how to send voice messages. Now he records little updates about his day, a funny story from the grocery store, thoughts on the book he's reading, and sends them to his family. They reply with videos of the kids, he says. It's not the same as a hug, but it's like having a window into their world. You don't have to master every app or gadget. Start with one thing. Ask a friend to show you how to FaceTime. Join an online group for a hobby you love. There are forums for everything from quilting to classic car restoration, or simply share photos through email. The goal isn't to become a tech expert overnight. It's to open a door, to remind yourself and others that you're still here, still curious, still part of the conversation. And here's the beautiful thing about both giving back and embracing technology. They're not just about filling time. They're about rewriting the story of what life after 70 can look like. A story where you're not waiting for love to find you. You're actively creating it, in big ways and small. But we're not done yet. There's one more piece to this puzzle. A way to anchor all these steps into something deeper. Something that can sustain you even on the toughest days. And that's where we'll pick things up next. For now, though, I'd love to hear. Have you found unexpected joy in helping others, or discovered a tech trick that's brought you closer to someone you miss? Share your experiences below. Remember, every time you reach out, every time you choose to engage with the world, you're sending yourself a powerful message. I matter. And that's a truth worth holding on to. Let's circle back to something we all carry, but don't always tend to. The relationship we have with ourselves. You've heard the saying, you can't pour from an empty cup. But here's the thing. You are not a cup. You're a whole, vibrant person, deserving of kindness, patience, and joy, not just from others, but from you. That brings us to our fifth and final way to feel loved and valued, practicing daily self-compassion. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Self-compassion. That sounds like something my yoga instructor would say. But stick with me. This isn't about bubble baths or scented candles, though if that brings you joy, go for it. It's about shifting how you talk to yourself on the toughest days. When the house feels too quiet, or you catch yourself thinking, Why doesn't anyone call? That's when it matters most. Instead of scolding yourself for feeling lonely or dismissing your emotions as silly, try this. Pause. Take a deep breath and say out loud, "This is hard, and it's okay to feel this way." Take Ruth, for example. After her son moved overseas, she struggled with guilt for missing him too much. One morning, she wrote a note to herself and taped it to her mirror. "You've loved deeply. Let that love include you too." She told me, "It felt strange at first, like I was talking to a friend instead of myself. But slowly, it changed how I saw everything. I started treating myself like someone worth caring for. That might look like cooking your favorite meal just because, forgiving yourself for a mistake, or setting boundaries when you need rest. Self-compassion isn't selfish. It's the foundation. When you nurture your own spirit, you'll find it easier to see the love that's already around you. Now, let's tie all of this together. We've talked about redefining connection, creating traditions, giving back, embracing technology, and finally, showing yourself the same grace you've given others your whole life. These aren't just tips. They're invitations to rewrite what this chapter of your life can be. A chapter where you're not defined by who visits or how often, but by how fully you choose to live. Maybe you're thinking, but what if I try all this and still feel lonely sometimes? Here's the truth. Loneliness isn't a sign of failure. It's a universal human emotion, and it'll visit all of us now and then. The goal isn't to erase it completely. It's to build a life so rich in purpose and connection that loneliness doesn't get the final word. So, let's end with a challenge, a small, gentle one. Today, do one thing that reminds you of your worth. Call that friend you've been thinking about. Plant a flower and watch it grow. Write down 3 things you're proud of about yourself. And if you're feeling brave, share what you did in the comments below. Your story could be the nudge someone else needs to take their first step. Before we go, if this video resonated with you, do me a favor. Hit that like button so others can find it and consider subscribing to the channel. We're here to walk alongside you, sharing stories and strategies to make these years some of your most meaningful yet. And remember, age isn't a countdown, it's a testament. A testament to all you've survived, all you've loved, and all the moments still waiting to unfold. However your family shows up in your life, you remain the heartbeat of your own story. So keep living it boldly, warmly, and unapologetically. Here's to you, today, tomorrow, and all the days after. Gentle music swells as the screen fades to a warm, uplifting image of a sunrise over a cozy porch.